Good morning, students. How are you all? I think you all fine and safe at home. Okay, we are in the first unit of civics. Before enter into the new topic, we'll just revise the yesterday's topic. Yesterday we saw about democracy. So what is democracy? The form of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The definition is given by our former American President Abraham Lincoln, and most of the historian accepted his definition. So mainly the people elected the representative for better administration. Okay, so we have a two type of democracy: direct and indirect democracy. Directly the people involved for the administration, that is direct democracy. The direct democracy emerged in ancient Greek cities, not now, just it's 2500 years ago. Okay, in indirect democracy, the people choose the leaders, which means through the direct or indirect election, people elected the representative. So this type of government called as indirect democracy. So like India or most of the countries of the world accepted and followed the indirect democracy. In merits and demerits also we saw, and then in Indian democracy also we saw. Okay, so today's topic, elections in India. So I already said in the last class, we have a three type of government, or a three type of government, and three type of elections: parliamentary form of government, state legislative government, and local body. Okay, so to elected this three, we have a three type of election commissions. Okay, Election Commission of India and Election Commission of the state conducted the three type of elections. For your better understanding, parliamentary form of government, that is, we elected the MPs and the Prime Minister. And state legislative government, that means we elected Chief Minister and MLAs. These two type of elections also conducted by the Election Commission of India. Can you understand, student? These two type of election conducted by the Election Commission of India. And Election Commission of the state, the Election Commission of the particular state Election Commission conducted the local body election, which means the local body election, it's not easy to conduct, and the the number of vote also more, because one person to elect Panchayat board member, Panchayat board president, and councillor, like plenty of members he need to be elected. Okay, so it's not easy to conduct by the Election Commission of India. So the privilege or a power is given to all the states, okay, separately. So the particular state is in charge for the local body election. Okay, we'll see about in the main thing of Election Commission in India, sorry, elections in India. India has a quasi-federal government which elected the representative at the federal, state, and the local level. So which means like a central, state, and local body. So this is mainly the three type. Okay, so the three type of elections also, the people or the direct voters. The three type of elections also conducted by the Election Commission. The three elections also are direct elections. Okay. The national level, the President of India appoints the Prime Minister. So now here in the central level, who is the in charge of administration? Prime Minister. In the state level, Chief Minister. In the local body level, we called as a mayor or a councillor, like plenty of people is available. Okay, we'll see the main part, the parliament. Okay, Indian parliament has two type. We called as a bicameral legislature. So what is a bicameral legislature means? There are the two houses. One is Rajya Sabha and another called as Lok Sabha. These are all the two houses in the parliament. Okay. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha called as upper house and Lok Sabha called as lower house. Okay, and Rajya Sabha called as Council of State. And Lok Sabha called as House of People. I'll tell you the explanation about it. So we have a parliament. In parliament there are the two houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha called as upper house, Lok Sabha called as lower house. So here, which house representative elected directly by the people? That is very important. You see, Lok Sabha only, Lok Sabha MPs elected, the MPs elected directly. Rajya Sabha MPs through the indirect election. So through the indirect election, how we called this is upper house and this is a lower house. So here the next stage you can see easily understand. Rajya Sabha called as Council of State. Lok Sabha called as House of People because people elected the representative through the direct election. So here we have a Lok Sabha MPs. So Lok Sabha MPs are the real power MPs, not a Rajya Sabha. Okay, so in the parliament the Lok Sabha called as lower house, but power wise Lok Sabha is important. Okay, in Rajya Sabha, why it called as a Council of State means each state is eligible for a vote, each state MLAs. So now Rajya Sabha election called as indirect election. The indirect election voters, not the people. Here only the people directly elected the representative of Lok Sabha. Here who are the voters here? Not the people, that is MLAs. MLAs means member of Legislative Assembly. Which Legislative Assembly member? Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly member, or Andhra, or Kerala? Every states and union territories, which means we have a 28 states and 9 union territories. No, so this all the states and union territories MLAs elected the Rajya Sabha members. So it called as indirect election. Okay, students, elaborately we will learn in the next classes. Okay, you see, all the member of Lok Sabha are directly elected through the general election, which take place in every 5 years. In a normal circumstances, 2 Anglo-Indian members can be nominated by the President of India to Lok Sabha. Here, 2 Anglo-Indian members nominated by the President. So what is the important here? Now 2 Anglo-Indian member, they are no need to participate in election. They are directly nominated by the President. Okay, other members, now for example 545 total members will be there. Okay, so in the 545, 543 members elected by the people, 2 members nominated, so totally 545. This is the total MPs of Lok Sabha. Okay, so the power with the President. Who can nominate the Anglo-Indian member? President can nominate the 2 Anglo-Indian member. Okay, then no member can nominate in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, we can nominate. Not we can. The same like President can nominate 12 Anglo-Indian members. Okay, so 12 Anglo-Indian members nominated by the president, and they may be have a knowledge of or they are maybe the contributor of art, literature, science and social service, sports, whatever it may be. So those 12 members is nominated by the president. So for example, here 250 total members. In the 250, 238 members elected by the MLAs of various states and union territories. Okay, 12 members nominated by president. So total 250. Can you understand? 238 members elected by the MLAs of various states and union territories. 12 members nominated by the president. Totally 250 MPs for Rajya Sabha. So total members 250 for Rajya Sabha and 540 for Lok Sabha. Okay, I think you all clear about it. So initially you can see the first election of India. When was the first election? Election of free India, we can say. Why it called as free India? Which means after the freedom. That is 1951 October 25th to 1952 February 21st. Okay, so this time only the first elections in free India is conducted. In that election, total seats, that is 489 seats. Among the 489 seats, 364 seats it's secured by the Indian National Congress. So Jawaharlal Nehru. So Jawaharlal Nehru elected as a Prime Minister of India. Okay, students. Okay, then first election of British India. So we saw the free India. In British India, the general election conducted in the year of 1920. Okay, so keep in your mind the first election of free India 1951 to 52 and the first election of British India in the year of 1920. We have some challenges of Indian democracy. Okay, so what are the challenges? Mainly, we need to face some important challenges like illiteracy and poverty. Most of the people they says illiteracy and poverty, the two also the very big obstacles of the country, because the two it given many problem for the growthness of our country. Some, for example, now you see because of poverty, their parents, they are not able to send the children to school. If they are not learning, they can't get a proper job. If they can't get a proper job, they can't earn. If they can't earn, their level is under the poverty. Okay, so if the two things are matched here, because of illiteracy, poverty can happen. Because of poverty, illiteracy can happen. Okay, so the two is the biggest obstacles we are faced, and gender discrimination, regionalism, casteism, corruption. Corruption is a very important thing. Because of corruption and bribe, now the government it's faced many problems, and the people also faced many problems. Okay, so criminalization of politics, political violence, in the plenty of way we faced many challenges. Okay, and next, conditions for a success. Condition for a success of the democracy in India, that is the empowerment of poor and illiterates to enjoy the goodness of democracy, willingness among the elected people not to misuse the powerful position in the public world, eradication of social evils and dangers from the democracy suffers, an important and efficient press to form the public opinion, presence of the strong public opinion, feeling to tolerate and communal harmony among the people, awareness among the people of the fundamental rights and they are enlightened to enjoy, and the consciousness check the vigilance on the working of the elected representatives and powerful responsible opposition. So these are all the great thing for the great conditions of success of democracy in India. So the democracy gave many things for many countries, especially like India, like a biggest nation. The democracy is a it's like one of the gifted thing. So India successfully runs the government based on the democratic form. Okay, so India is the biggest republic in the world because of this proper maintenance of democratic form. The Indian government runs smoothly. Okay, students. So this is about the democracy and elections in India. Okay, I think you understood this lesson. So we completed the first unit of civics. Go through the lesson once again and repeatedly keep in your mind some important points. Watch the videos twice and getting some good informations keep in your mind and store it, and it useful for your future learning. Okay, students. So thank you very much. We will meet tomorrow with a new topic.